I am Optimus Prime, and I send this message to any surviving Autobots taking refuge among the stars. Transformers 1 is goated.
Guys, you're gonna hear a lot of people saying this movie is the best Transformers movie they've made. They loved everything about it. There should be more like this. You're gonna hear a lot of stuff like that. And I'm just here to add myself to the pantheon of people who are doing this because it is so good. Before I even go into reviewing it, I want you to stop, go watch the movie, and come back. Like go watch the movie and come back because man, there is so much to love about this. If you're a Transformers fan, there's a lot you're going to understand, a lot of Easter eggs for you, a lot to love. And if you're not a Transformers fan, you're going to love this movie because it's a bona fide story of friendship, regardless of whatever lore, whatever the actual subjects happen to be. The theme of friendship is so strong in this movie that it's not really going to matter whether you know who these people are, who these robots are. You're going to feel it because the story being told is so poignant. Dude, the writing of this, I got to commend the writers. Because they went off, okay? I got to commend the animators and the storyboard artists and the creative team behind the look of this movie because it's been said before, but this movie is gorgeous. This movie, Cybertron, is gorgeous. Like, I was one who also saw trailer 1 and was like, this thing looks like a kid's movie. It looks cheesy, kind of corny, and I need more of the good stuff, the action pack, the depth. Like, I need that in Transformers films. But nah, man, this is that. And the visuals look so much better than trailer 1 when you see it on the big screen. Like, the screen that we watch trailers on, the computer screen, TV screen, whatever, it don't do these movies justice, especially when it's animated. That those things don't do it justice. You have to see it the way it was made to be seen. I know they say it at the theater, but this is kind of true. I loved what this film did with the origin story of Megatron and Optimus Prime. I mean, there have been movies and stories and shows who've done this before. The original 80s cartoon, I think, told the story of how they came to be as well. And to my knowledge, it slightly differs from what is presented here. But I think this is one of the better origin stories, one of the better told origin stories for these two. It goes into not just how they became enemies, but even how they became leaders of their respective groups. Like, it really brings weight to why they are where they are and why people actually look to them as opposed to somebody else. I commend the writers a lot because it takes really creative writing and direction to tell a story and get the audience invested in something that we already know the outcome of. This is not like we're watching an original story where we don't know what's going to happen to these characters. We have to follow them on the ride to see the outcome. We know where these characters end up. Like, that's the hard thing about writing prequels. And so I love how these writers took an outcome that we already knew was coming and wove a story that we still had to follow along to figure out how this happened, and we were invested in why this is happening. It's easy to, understand what's going to happen and say, okay, I'm going to check out because I can't get invested in what I know is happening. Like, there's no story to follow. Now with this, because they made them so different from how they end up, you really want to find out, okay, how does this, headstrong, disciplined character and this kind of hopeless buffoon become these two icons? And they did it so well. And I'm like, hats off. I also like what this movie has to say, about God. Again, this one isn't an explicit, tale of Christianity, which most films aren't. But there's always something to find in these stories. And so what this movie did, this film tackles the idea of faith and identity. And it does it in a way where if you look at the world through a biblical worldview, it really challenges you to kind of have the same belief system, or this the same type of foundation that these characters had, in their leaders. And I don't say that in terms of like politically, but I mean like in terms of God. Like they have a God in this movie, a creator, if you will. And one of the characters has a sort of blind faith. They all have a faith in this creator and what he has established. But one character in particular is extremely hopeful all the time that there is a greater purpose to what they're doing and that there's more they can do to help the fellow being. Like that is like the whole thing is like, I want to be more for my fellow brothers and sisters. And I think that, the way that God honors that is similar to the way Yahweh, the God of the Bible, honors those who earnestly seek him. I believe that, Hebrews says without faith it's impossible to please God, and that we can, earn some approval by our faith. And so like when I see that character, I'm challenging myself to ask the question, how much faith do I have in my God? And also, does that faith come out of a selfish place of getting what I want from him, or a place of saying, I know there's more for me to do for my fellow man and for my God, to maximize what he's given me, that he might get the glory out of all that I can do. Like that is kind of what I got from this. And I love that so many people, I think, are going to get different things, but that is a core element that I believe a lot of people are going to see in this movie. And when you see the character, you'll be able to catch what I'm saying. But like, it's honestly pretty incredible how it all plays out. So yeah, I loved this film. Transformers 1 is probably a top 5 movie that I've seen this year. I might make a top 10 list, but I already know that top 5, this movie's going to end up there because it was so well done. I mean, just top to bottom, an incredible achievement. So yeah, keep doing this, guys. Like Hollywood, like keep doing stuff like this. We like the, no, never mind. We don't like the crap that we've been getting. We like more stuff like this. Art, please. Less content, more art. That's all I'm going to say. Again, if you like the video, please comment if you have your own thoughts on this. I would like to hear what you guys thought of it. Even if you thought of like the whole like God piece, do you agree with me? Do you want to hear more about that? Please let me know. Subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1K subscribers by the end of the year if possible. So if you want to help me out, I would appreciate it. And until next time, Jesus loves you, and have a blessed morning, evening, day, afternoon, whatever it is. Peace and deuces.